Hi. Y'all talking smack in the chat. Y'all don't be too excited because there's nothing crazy going on. Sorry I'm late. Work is work. I had to go into a cohort because I messed up their Canvas stuff, so that was fun. But that's not why we're here. We're here because it's Code Wednesday. So the way that we Code Wednesday works is I am going to work on some things that I've been coding because I don't get to code as much as I want to. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. Ideally, that means you're coding as well. Hey, what's up? Ideally, that means that you're coding as well. Or if you have something else going on, then you can, oh my gosh. Also, all I've done is just installed the like basic Stream Elements, but I'm glad it's working. Thank you so much, Paul. I don't even know where that, what is that, a raptor or a pterodactyl? Anyway, I don't get to code as much. Ideally, y'all would be coding with me, but if you have any sort of questions or anything like that, I will do my best to answer them. Typically, when I code, I am trying to incorporate something new, which is, if you watch the replay of the previous stream, that was the Prisma debacle, and we're not going to talk about that. We're going to take a break from that because it's really kind of getting on my nerves. And we're going to switch over to this Infinity Nikki styling calculator. Basically, it's going to turn into like a little hub. I have an inspo from another. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Yes. So this is the inspiration. If you don't know me, I am a cozy gamer, and so one of my favorite games to play is Palia. Palia is like a cozy MMO, and there are some amazing creators on Palia, so this is completely fan-made. There are a ton of things that you can track on here. So there's like a plushie tracker, bug tracker, recipe, all that good stuff. There's also like weekly gifts and things like that. There's all kinds of these other things. Of course, we've got the light mode, dark mode tracker. The other cool thing too is if you go to like the homepage here, we love a beautiful hover effect like this. Gorgeous. So this is kind of the inspo for my hub tracker. There are a ton of different trackers for games, but this one meets my aesthetic stuff. And we're gonna try to get as much as we can done. The new thing that I'm incorporating with this project is Next.js. And so for my new people that may be watching this, Next.js is kind of one of the new things for React. Just Google it or go to react.dev. So I'm slowly trying to learn the app router for Next.js. I was taught React Router 5, have gotten used to React Router 6. React Router 7, I haven't even played with it yet. But we are using Vite, and then we're also using Next, obviously, and then we've got Post CSS in here. The stuff that I'm working with here, and I actually forgot to get rid of this, so we'll just boop. I tried using this UI library called Chakra UI, and it seemed really cool at first, but it's a pain in the ass. So I'm the type of coder where I would like things to be really straightforward and easy. So obviously we've got React. I'm going to use a UI library that I found a little bit ago that I enjoy that works with Tailwind really well, called Daisy UI. And then obviously we got Next Themes, React, React DOM, and then we got some icons. And of course we got Tailwind in here, and we got Vite. So this is front end. I haven't done front end in a hot minute. I miss it, honestly. The last front end thing that I made was I made a Star Wars thing. So let me pull up my little Next.js docs, because that's how we learn. We pull up the documentation and we figure it out. Hope y'all are having a good night. I hope that I hope that you're having a good class, Paul. Oh man. This is what happens when you have too many bookmarks here. I'll show you. I attempted to have everything set up, and then I'm like, where in the world is my documentation? So that's fun. Let's see, React Router 7. I think it honestly would just be easier for me to type in Next.js Vercel. So using the one thing that I do like about Vercel's documentation is, since there are different options for routing, you can use the pages router or you can use app router. Now you can also just not use a router and just use React Router, but trying this, it's like a hot new thing. The big thing with app router is it is basically, and it has you do this little project, but I'm not doing this project. I mean, I could, but I have a really bad habit of falling into tutorial hell, so we're not gonna do that. But I like that they kind of have a little LMS that they've kind of built through here. Over the weekend, I did their React Foundations course just to kind of get an idea of any extra things that they've got in React in regards to Next. The one thing that I do like if you're trying to learn Next is towards the end of React Foundations, it says, hey, come on, give me the, there we go. It talks about migrating from regular React to Next.js, and this was super helpful. because I'm down with the props and the components and all that good stuff. But the hardest thing for me is kind of the migration from one thing to the next. No pun intended. And then the other thing that is new to me, and I understand the concept, but seeing it in code for some reason, I guess is probably because I haven't coded it in a hot minute, is server components versus client components. Because Next.js, the default is server components. And so if you try to put any sort of state or anything that it doesn't like, and it's supposed to be on the client side, then there's different things you have to do. So also, just to oh my gosh, you'll hear my dogs at some point. I could close the door. If it gets crazy, then I will, but they like to sound like they're eating each other, but they're just playing, I promise. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me back up. We were talking about the difference between client components and server components. Oh, okay. So when I explain something, I use like the most layman's terms possible. I try not to be like super techie, or if I do try to pull in tech things, I try to make it a little bit easier to understand, because there are some people that I'll watch their coding stuff and I'm like, you are just saying too many big words. The goal is for, if some stranger at Walmart was watching this stream, they'd at least be able to follow along with what I'm doing. I'm going to close this door because my entire family has decided they want to make so much noise. Hold on. Okay. Now, you all may not be hearing it since this is a noise canceling mic. However, I have ADHD and so it's distracting me. The goal is for someone to be able to follow along even if they have no idea what I'm doing. So that is your little intro to We Code Wednesdays. Last time I did put like a timer on or something, but it's really, I'm just gonna work, and then you can give yourself breaks if you want. The big thing that I did last time I did a coding session, not on stream, but to get ready for this stream actually, was to get my package.json set up. We changed from the Chakra UI to Daisy UI, which I need to pull up the documentation for. It's so pretty. The one thing with Chakra UI that I didn't like is I like components that are just kind of like already made. Now for this, I don't necessarily like how they have the theme set up on this page, because you can't really see the nav bar. It's kind of annoying. And even if I go to light mode, which everybody shield your eyes, you can see it now because there's like a drop shadow, but you don't have that here. So not to just, crap on their site, but should probably, if Daisy UI ever watches the stream, they probably need to fix that. All right. So Chakra UI doesn't have like a nav bar or different nav bar options for you to choose from. It's just like, here is a button, and it's got all the little pieces. And if you like Lego and putting all these little pieces together, that's totally fine. But my philosophy is, if something better is already out there, why spend the time? Because we have logic to make. We got a ton of stuff to make. So I do not have any sort of design other than my inspo, which of course I closed out of. And so really the main goal because I like to give myself a goal, because if not, we'll go down a rabbit hole. The main goal is for us to get at least a nav bar finished, and then I would say I'll feel good if we have a footer and then this hero section. Those are kind of the big goals. So we may go over. It made me put a time limit on, on the stream. I'm here till I get that done. So, all right. So, I wish I probably could do multiple screens, but it's just going to be easier for me to have it over there. And then I'm going to put my documentation over here because I like to have a lot of real estate on this side. I am using WebStorm. It's pretty freaking awesome. I'm not utilizing it to its full potential. I can guarantee you that. But it's really cool. I just started using it. The only thing I don't like though, and I mentioned this earlier, is my background image went away. And we need to fix that. Because I can't code without my dark. Where's the background? Background image. Okay, so why? Let's go figure out what's going on with this. We got the desktop. Oh, this isn't up to date. Hold on. Where did I put it in the wrong thing? You know what? We need to just code. That's all you need to do. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Because I'll spend the whole stream working on that. Alright, we got main. Let me double check our script here. Oh. And also, I know that some people love to use the buttons in their editor to do Git stuff. I do it sometimes. It really just depends. I was taught to use the terminal, so that's what my default is. So you're gonna probably see me do that. This is why the name of this window is GitHub. Beautiful. Yay! Look at our beautiful project. It's a beauty. All right. Let me put this over here because I do have a 27-inch screen. Code's not going to take up that much. Okay. Put that right here. Cool. And then let me rename this real quick. So we'll do front end. And then we'll make another one, and that'll be our GitHub. Because this is purely front end. I have done tons of back end, and I'm tired of it. All right, so we've got all of these different folders. I usually go with like a source folder, like an SRC folder. I didn't do that this time because the documentation basically is just an extra folder. There's no need for that. So in app, I have a few different things. So I have a components folder, and that is empty right now. That's where our components are gonna go. And then I have a library function, or not a function, folder. Words are hard. This library folder is going to hold all of the reusable functions that we can bring into our components as we need. And then we've got our global CSS. All I've got is Tailwind and Daisy UI because Tailwind and Daisy UI are all in the component files. So we just gotta have these things right here. We'll see how that goes. And then the big thing with Next.js is there is a layout JS, and then there's a page.js. Now, layout.js, since it's an app, this is what is going to be on the outside of our application. So, any components that we have are going to be considered children, and whatever styles we put in here, any component is going to have this in addition to anything else we put in there. So this is also something that kind of threw me for a loop for a little bit, because in previous not Next things, there was an index.html file, and the layout and the page.js, really it's the layout. That is kind of your replacement for the index.html. So I had to go look up, because I had like an index.html, I had so many different things in here, and I'm like, let's just start something with nothing else in there. One thing that I haven't seen before is this suppress hydration warning. So I'm going to copy that and come over here, because I'm sure it's helpful. It's there for a reason, but I don't know what that does. And I don't like to have code written that I don't know what it does. So, let's see, Next.js. So when I Google suppress hydration warning, it's used to temporarily silence hydration mismatch warnings that occur during the reconciliation process between server rendered HTML and client side rendered HTML. Okay. When Next.js hydrates the application. That's a weird way to say that. Hydrating the application. Compares a rendered output with the server. Okay. So basically, it's similar to a merge conflict, is when there's like a mismatch or a warning. So this is saying, hey, we're not dealing with that. We're doing our best right now. Cool. Okay, so we got children right here. However, we need a nav bar. So where am I at? So this should be fine. We're gonna put a nav bar here. Are you not gonna like a comment there? Gotcha. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll do that. It's alright. Oh, cute. We love that. What is it, like the CSS stuff? No, it's not. There we go. No, it's not. Oh my gosh. It's fine. We'll just do it that way. Alright, so we're going to put a nav bar there. And then we're going to copy pasta this, because we're also going to have a footer. I don't know why I made that capital, but it's okay. Got the footer right there. And then let me look at my inspo. I think that's really the only thing that we need as far as the like main components to stay on all the pages. So we will deal with the hero section. That's going to be a child. It's going to be its own little thing. So nav bar. I'm trying to decide. Let me see how it looks in Daisy UI. And I guess what I'm going to do is just keep it on like a light mode, which is annoying because I can't see the drop shadow. So we got some options. I do like the idea of this because ideally what I would want to do that this inspo doesn't do it does kind of save it, but it's kind of like, please import your progress data file here. So this is a really interesting way to do this, and there's not even any instructions. So there's no way to save it on the actual application, so this just seems like a bunch of nonsense. So that's the thing that I want to implement, is I want to have like an account to where it's saved in state and probably on a database, and then we don't have to deal with all that. We'll just log in and then it'll be there. So I don't know why I moved that away. So I like this one. It's very minimal. We got a little search right here. Do like the idea of a search. And then we don't need that. I do like this one. This one looks nice. And then you can open this up and it'll give you these different options. Now, the cool thing is we can change this if we want. So let's say I like this one, but I want to have the profile thing. I think that's just like a regular just drop down, but we shall see. Avatar. I don't even know who that is. They look like a cool cat. Avatar group, that's pretty cool. Eventually I'd like to add on a feature where you can plan parties in here too, because there's also a different application where you can do party planning. But avatar presence. Yeah, I think what we'll do is just do a drop down. Let me just go back, it'll be easier. So if we look at the JSX on this, we have, okay, so this is the left hand side. Then we've got flex none, we've got a drop down, got a tab, button circle, indicator. Oh my goodness, they need to add word wrap on this. I'm assuming this is the avatar. What in the world? Yeah, it's an SVG. Very interesting. Let me double check. Oh, love that. Okay, cool. I'm going to assume that's what it is because that's that right there. And then we have view cart. Which is this, okay. So that would make sense because it's right above here. View cart button. Drop down. Oh no, it's this right here. Because we're going left to right. Duh. Okie dokie. So we've got all of these different class names. Now, I will say my personal preference is to have everything in a separate CSS file, but it's just so much easier to do it right here. And a lot of these are pre-made, so button, alt, tab bar. Okay, cool. So we're gonna copy pasta. I am gonna leave my comments in there until it's done. Oh Lord have mercy. Let's just, there's too much going on. Format. Seriously? No? Okay. It's fine. Is it down here? No. See, this is what happens when you change your daily driver. You forget where everything is. Or you don't know where everything is. Code. Reformat file. Selected text. Okay. So let's go over here. Oh my gosh, I love this. I don't think it's supposed to work like that. Daisy, your stuff is broken. Love that. I wonder if it's because I need to just import it as a component. Jess is probably having a Jess moment. But in theory, it should work if I have my stuff set up correctly. So, not sure about that. Use a show. Part of a component. Center and end. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna code this ourselves. That is not root. Nope. I do a class name. Now this one is gonna have style stuff in it, so we're gonna do navbar, and I don't have a theme yet. It has BG base. This is what we need in our global. Okay, so let's comment this out. We'll put pause. Okay. This is where I stopped. Made a scene by adding brackets. So what we're doing is this. This is leading me to believe that this is not connected, even though it's right here. But we'll cross that bridge in a second. We got themes here. Something is cranky, but it's fine. And let's find a cool theme that's like dark mode. You know what? Mark was doing Dracula earlier today, so we'll do that. First dark and do Dracula. So now, come back over here. We're gonna put it right here, and we're gonna say data-theme. And you are gonna see autocomplete show up, but I'm gonna try to not use it as much as possible. And we're gonna put Dracula. Cool. What is this? Okay. beautiful. Now this is where it's saying that it suggests using theme change. I might just disable light mode, but that's not very accessible. 35 built-in themes. Yeah, I think it wants me. I don't think we should do that though. This is so much nonsense. Because technically, if we put it here, it's not going to show. But I've never seen anybody put anything on a body tag. Yeah. Let's see if we're at least getting an error. Okay, showing no errors. Okay. Styles. Body. Yeah, it's not even showing the. Yeah. So let's put this back on the HTML and see what changes. Okay, so it's got the data theme here. But it's still not showing the styles. So why not? Because it's right here. We have it imported. We have the stuff in here. Interesting. I wonder if it's because it's a dev dependency. Like Tailwind is. It shouldn't matter though. Not working. Next.js. Apparently this is a common theme. I promise I'm not trying to be punny. It's just happening. Let me move OBS out of the way. The good news is we've got, so this is what I Googled. I said, why is my Daisy UI theme not working? Next.js. And so I have a Stack Overflow right here. I typically don't go to Reddit, but sometimes Reddit has got you, you know? So I'm gonna start with Stack Overflow, and then if we need to, we'll go somewhere else. So I'm trying to use a theme. Entry point from looking at examples. Looks like theme is passed on from the highest component to all of the inward components. That is correct. Okay, let's look at this because that might be why. Do we have a Tailwind config? No, we have this one. We got this right here. Tailwind / post CSS. Now this one's going to be a little bit different because this Tailwind, the new version of Tailwind, you don't have to import these. Want to clear, want to... Okay, you can make a file called document.js that can update the and tags used to render a page. Notice this piece of code. Okay. While I'm looking at this, I'm gonna eat my taco. Because I'm hungry. Model.export, we got content. Okay. Maybe it's the post CSS stuff that's screwing it up. Override the default. Is it because I don't have a pages? No, hold on. App router. Uses file system based routing. Okay, we know that. Got our layout. Navigation layout, preserve state, remain interactive, do not re-render. Layout by default, exporting React component from the layout file. Okay, so we got dashboard here. Let me switch this to JavaScript. We'll do TypeScript another day. And then they have export default, this dashboard layout function with children, and we're returning. Yeah, so all this is in here, so we're good. I have to go to the Daisy UI. Because this is just telling me how to do routes. No. Yeah, CSS. Tailwind. I keep forgetting that I'm not sharing both versions. Okay, installing Tailwind. Start using Tailwind, install necessary packages, which we did. We have this postcss.config.mjs, which is this right here. And mine looks different, so let's just boop, just to see if it works. Okay, ESLint is being teamed too much right now. Okay, so in our global style sheet, we're importing. We'll import here. This here. Okay. What is this? Oh, I think this is why I chose chakra. Okay. Configuring CSS and JS with a 3-step opt-in. Oh, that's a good call. That's one thing that I found out the hard way last time too. Because I was assuming that Vite was like the default. But that's definitely not the case. But isn't Vite just like a bundler? Kind of. I don't think it's a bundler because I don't think it's like Webpack or Babel, but it does kind of the same thing basically. So I'm slowly starting to find out I don't really like Vite because it's cranky. Let's go look and see if build tool. That's what was looking for. Thank you. Okay. And I could do resources. This is how I end up getting like 50 tabs. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Okay, let's see if this is helpful. Let's see if they have their config in here. Okay, we got both those. I did this. I mean, fair. Fair. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're only at 14, so it's not terrible. That you start using UI. See, I feel like this is what we're missing here. Y'all are crazy. I don't know if I can handle both y'all in the chat at the same time. You're fine. Pre-built. About to say screw it, everything's gonna have 0 styling. Just so I can build something. Ugh. Okay. Did you see that? That thing just... that blinked. Oh, it's so cute. Do it again. Come on, do it again. Okay, focus. Okay, install. Or... okay, that's to change the default. I don't need the default. Let's see, add.css. I can't even get the default to work. I don't want to change the default. How to install Daisy UI as a Tailwind CSS plugin. Okay. So that's what I have. We're using Vite. Cool. Got our Vite project. We installed this. I wonder... See, I don't have this. Okay. Let's go back to our package JSON. Because I think this post CSS is causing issues. And what's this? I think this is a new thing. We'll leave that alone for now. I don't even see post CSS in here. Oh, it's right here. Oh, I do have a question for y'all. So if you need to change your package.json, do you do it in the terminal with npm or do you just change it here? That's my question. Because typically I just use the terminal. Let's see, we got Vite. And I think what I'm gonna do is, it's gonna be real cranky, but we're just gonna start from the beginning with these installs. Let me make sure. Okay. Cool. Where's my terminal? Okay, that's still running. Sweet. Alright, so we don't need to create a project. We already got that. And then, seriously, you don't have the little copy button for me to just click? Okay, so npm install. We're gonna put CSS, Tailwind in there, Tailwind Vite, and Daisy UI. We're just gonna get rid of this and this for now. And then I'm gonna leave this for now because we might be able to just rename it. Let's hit enter. Cool. So now the next step that says is to add Tailwind CSS to the Vite config. This was the other thing, is so the way that WebStorm works is when you do like a new project, you can choose one of these generators. And now I'm realizing maybe I shouldn't do that. I should just do it in the terminal because I know it's going to work in the terminal. But when I did this, it didn't give me a vite.config, which was very strange because I feel like that's a default thing. So I had to create this, and then I had to go find this because I'm like, what do you even put in this Vite config? So I've got define config right here, and then we're going to import. Now I will tab complete these imports because no thanks. Plugins, and we're gonna put Tailwind CSS. Why don't you like this? Void function return value. What? I feel like you're talking some nonsense. Whatever. We're just gonna ignore it. I probably need to fix that at some point. Okay, and then the next step is put Tailwind CSS and Daisy UI in your CSS file and remove old styles. So we're gonna go back to our globals. And we're gonna look here. So this is, we don't need this. Oh, Did y'all see that? Okay, cool. We did it! I feel like Dora. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay. Verissimo. We did it. Great job, team. It only took us, what, 30 minutes to do that? Lord. Alright, let's try this again. So now we know we don't need this. Cool. Nothing's broken. And that is a good spot to be like, hey, we accomplished something. So let's go to our GitHub. And we're going to do git add. Even though, I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Paul, said not to do git add period. I do git add period. The reason why I do git add period is because, and it's purely because of this. When I was going through my boot camp, I was using VS Code, obviously. And any time that I would do git add in like a specific file, I would get an error. And so when I would ask someone how to fix the error, they said, just do git add space period. And it always worked. So probably not the best excuse, but you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna do git commit -m because we want to do a message. And I like to close my quotes before I go back because I don't always like to put them at the end. So reconfigured styling to include Daisy, not Tailwind, Daisy UI as a Tailwind CSS, that's all one word, plugin, and changed the theme in the root layout. Okay. Cool. And then we can do a git push. Beautiful. Finally. There we go. Now I feel a little bit better because it's the new things that are breaking. So it's like, okay, just you remember a little bit. It's all right. All right, so let's get rid of this. And we'll get rid of this. And I don't think interesting. They're using, so on that Next.js page, they're using styled components. But I don't think we need that. So, let me get rid of that. I haven't used style components in so long. Okay. So let's go back and let's copy our other stuff that was giving us some nonsense earlier. And we're gonna get a layout. And we're gonna copy pasta. And we're gonna see if this works. Hey, nice. Okay. Beautiful. We got our little search. We got a little drop down right here. Oh, new. Love that. Okay. And then we got that there. Now the thing is I want to make some changes to this. So, I always try, I mean, I know that it's fine for me to just use this component and move on to the next, but I don't know if this is just me, but it feels kind of like a cop-out and it's not exactly what I want. So, let me actually do this one. Because I like this layout better. So that way we've got the navigation right here. We've got this right here. We got the little search, which is cute. And we got the little notification thing. But I want to add in the avatar from the previous one. So I'm just going to go grab that from the other. We got drop down int, avatar, image. Cool. And then let's look and see. We have a button circle. Button circle. I think that's this one with the indicator. So I'm looking for indicator. Cool. And then let me just double check that the div is fine. Okay, so this div ends at navbar end. So I think that'll be perfect because I'm assuming that there is some behind the scenes flexbox that I really don't want to know about. So we're gonna hit enter there and we're gonna paste. So now, oh, hold on. Syntax, it's probably this. Let's minimize this for a second. I kind of don't like this part, but it's fine. So we have the indicator. We've got that there. We've got the button. Put that here. Corresponding. I think it's because there's an extra one. Yeah, it might be this one. No. Okay. This is your favorite part, right? Going through and troubleshooting HTML. Or I'm sorry, JSX. Last name. So here's the thing. This has a buddy. This has a buddy. This has a buddy. This one doesn't have a buddy. Oh. There we go. Alright, let's double check. Okay, got a buddy. We've got a buddy. Buddy. And boom. This. Okay, cool. Yay! Oh. Okay, so on this one, this doesn't have a drop down. That's good to know. So that means there's something going on with that's what I'm saying, Aaron. Nothing wrong with that. It's really interesting to kind of see like the different nuances because coding is so personal. Like what everybody's like, oh my gosh, you have to do this. or you have to do this. JSX, and then view cart. Got this here. We've got the image. Image is self-closing. And what we didn't do, we didn't bring over the unordered list, which is probably why it was cranky. Let's see. There is and then we're gonna have to change these classes. Not this one, but I think this one. So oh no, I fibbed. Shadow small. Trying to see if there's an easy way excuse me, see if there's an easy way for me to just add in the extra stuff without just replacing it, because we've got the tab index here. And where is the, okay, we got the self-closing image. This one. Okay, so it's this one that needs to be in. Have a good walk, Erin. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great walk. Betty earned it. I know she did. Okay. So I think I can just do this and put it. Yeah, I should be able to put it just underneath here. Let's see if that works. No, it didn't. Okay, so it's got to be in this one. Beautiful. Cool. I don't necessarily want that though. Oh shoot. Okay, so we've got profile, settings, log out. That should be fine for now. And then for the indicator, they don't have any sort of functionality with it yet. So what we're gonna need to do is, here, let me put a comment here. And I'll just put indicator does not have functionality. Whoops, let me just do that, and then Cool. Now the next thing I want to do is change this. Now I like that it's clickable. So we're gonna want, obviously we want it to go somewhere. Okay, so we're gonna close some of these down. Done that. Much better. Oh, okay. Don't need that. Windows button. Circle. Oh, interesting. So they didn't do a legit button. They just made it a roll. Okay. That's fine. Alright, so that is done. And then we've got the navbar center. Got the text here. And it doesn't have an href. I think that's right. It's been so long I don't remember. That is annoying. Yeah, href is for the anchors and then source is for the images. Get it together, Jess. Okay. So we need to add, no, we can still do the href. And this is probably, I'll have to, hold on. I gotta pull up Next.js. Because I think we don't do the anchor stuff. We do something different. Like we do links, I want to say. Yeah, linking between pages. So I wonder if import next link and let's see what happens. Okay. We need to be a link. And then we need the href to be, hi. I'm just streaming. Encoded. What's up? Yeah? Yeah, I had my taco. My Lunchable. Yeah, I had my taco and I need to eat my Lunchable here in a minute. But, yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna keep the door open, but everybody was being loud, so I was like, bye. Okay. Do some Lunchable ASMR for you. Back to Word. So, the example I'm looking at, let's pull this over, is we're referencing the blog and this, but I'm just doing home, so I'm pretty sure that I don't need all this other stuff, but we shall see. Do slash, should be fine. And then what are we gonna call this? So they call their main stuff like the perfect guides, because their the thing that holds all of our stuff in my game is called a ParaPal. So I'm thinking, but I also don't know if this is licensed, but like I'm not trying to make money off of it, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. So I think I saved links. Yes. Database. Okay, so this person just called it. I love that. Love that. Cool. So, maybe we'll call it the Infinity Hub. And then the other thing I'm gonna do is open this back up, and it's this one. Yeah, for the indicator. The color. Oh Lord. Okay, let me go look at the indicator component. Okay. Oh, there's so many different ones. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking for status. Okay, so indicator item. Is it gonna tell me the different things for status? So I don't think this is a status indicator. Okay, indicator item, badge, badge secondary. So do I just need to take these away? Yes. Okay. Oh no, 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 no. Okay. Okay. So span. I'm assuming that SVG is the little bell. And I kind of want to make it a little bigger. So maybe 7. Okay, I don't hate it. But it's still kind of big. Okay, let's look at the... this one, yeah. So if I make this one 7... maybe we do 6. Okay, I think I like that. I need to get a Ruby cam. We'll do 6. 6. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Nice. I kind of don't like how close that is, though. Might need to put some padding. But that's being picky. We don't need to worry about that right now. And then let's go to our pages. And I don't want it to be home page, we just want it to be home. And then this is where, let me go look at the plan. Okay. Visual UI for styling. So we're going to view the outfit pieces in Eureka visually instead of just by name. The score calculator calculates total outfit score, including bonuses unlocked by the player. Style saving. Okay, So one of those needs to be so we'll call it the closet. So that's saving our styles. And now I'm realizing that all of these need to be links. That's annoying. Yeah, because this and this will probably be in the closet. The score calculator, could technically also be in the closet. It really just depends on what that page looks like. So challenge comparison. We could put this and the challenge comparisons together. No. And so we'll call this challenge history. And then this one's gonna be the AI one. So we'll just call it style AI for now. And we'll put, oh wait, we can do one of these little indicator things. Okay, so this will be helpful for this. Here we go. So we have a span. So put that up at the top. And put that here. Span, actually, whoop. And then we'll put the span here. Move this over a tad, so I'll see what I'm doing. And thinking instead of item, we're gonna do end. And then it's gonna say coming soon. Okay, well maybe we do need indicator item. Actually, I think we can just put it on the anchor. Now that I think about it. Well, no, because it's gonna have text. Let me see how they did badge as indicator. Okay, we got the content there. No. Well, let's see what that does. Okay, didn't do what I wanted it to. So maybe we do have to wrap that-ish. Great. Now let's do like secondary. Oh, that's just the color, but I do like that color, so. Yeah, I want the size. Yeah, because the size doesn't really change on these. Might have to go to the badge and see what they've got going on there. It's just a lot of like hunt and find. Tedious. But I guess if you're doing the same, like the same stack over and over again, it'll eventually get faster. Oh my goodness gracious, this cheese does not want to separate. Okay, let me check my Slack because 8 notifications is a lot. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, somebody's cranky. Let's see. Let's see. Well, boo. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to cut stream like 10 minutes early because I need to go. What am I trying to say? I gotta go get some information for an escalation for work. So, I really, really appreciate the people that came out. Just a little recap. Thank you so much for the follow, Paul. I don't know who Choco Honey Rose is, but thank you for the follow. Good night. Also, thank you for the bit. I haven't had biddies in so long. That's so crazy. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I am gonna try to do some more streams, but I'm slowly getting back into it. So I really appreciate y'all, and I will see you next time. Bye. Alright. Let's see. I'm using cool